It's actually a rather rare privilege to be able to introduce friends, and I'd like Bob and Merle Skolnick to come on up and stand here while I accolade them. It's my privilege to introduce them as two of this year's commendees of the Friends of Hackley Library. This commendation is recognition of their commitment to this community, a commitment which is reflected in their total immersion to the betterment of the people, the places, and the priorities that make up Muskegon.
I don't have a long speech, but I didn't want to forget anything either. First, I'd like to thank the Friends of Hackley Public Library for this award tonight, and to be honest, I was shocked when I received the letter. I had no idea that we would even be considered for such an honor, and I was a little disappointed because actually I thought I was getting the MacArthur Genius Award tonight, but with its $1 million stipend, I'm not getting that. So next year, yeah. Next year. Merle and I have spent most of our adult lives in Muskegon County. We're both immigrants, Merle from Pittsburgh and I'm from New York. We've lived here for almost the entire 43 years we've been married, following our 7-day engagement. And no longer, I wouldn't recommend that today, I can tell you that, and no longer consider ourselves from somewhere else. We certainly think of Muskegon as our home, and we are as close to being native Muskegonites, and I'm not sure that's a word, but if it isn't, I just made it up. But we've gotten so much from our lives here, and we've made a conscious effort to try and give back to our community for all that we have received here. We sometimes wonder if we've made a difference, but I think we have, and tonight's honor makes us just a little bit surer that we have made a difference. But we're not done yet, and we both thank you very much for this wonderful award. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, give a retired columnist a microphone. What a joy it is for me to be here today with so many of you whom I know and call friends, people who have changed my life, people who have made a difference in my life, and nobody has done that more than my friend Connie Navarro. Connie, would you please come up, please? Stand here with me. I'm sure for many of you I don't need to introduce Connie, but in case you have not had the pleasure of meeting her, Connie has been a bridge between the Latino and Anglo communities forever. Several years ago, she decided it was time to put history to words, because if you don't write it down, it's as if it never happened. And so, on her own, Connie started collecting the oral histories of the Latino families who lived in La Colonia, the neighborhood, Ryerson Heights, a federal housing project built during World War II, one of only 4 in the city of Muskegon. And I can tell you, I'm a project kid myself. I grew up in Rudderman Terrace, and it is a very special place. And so I'm going to let Connie talk more about this, let her have my time. But just for you to know, Connie was among the first bilingual employees for Department of Social Services, for Family Coordinating Council, Mission for Area People, and she is the founder of Latinos Working for the Future. You see, it's not just the past that Connie captures. It's the future that she looks into and makes sure that everyone in the community sees and hears and follows. It is an absolute honor for me to introduce you to Connie Navarro, one of this year's Friends of Hackley Public Library's commendees.
Buenas tardes. Es un honor y un privilegio para recibir este reconocimiento. It's an honor and a privilege to receive this recognition. I don't know if you have seen the book or have even looked at the pages, okay? But the cover of this book is friendship. And this is what this book is about, life and friendship. It's a story of Latinos coming from Texas and living here in Muskegon and being able to go to school, to go to college, to come out and have an education, have a home, get married. The American dream. What is the American dream? Everybody's dream. But this book is because of friendship. And when I say friendship, everybody that's in this book were and are still friends that lived in Ryerson Heights and now are still friends. But they got together and wrote this book. We have to also, and when I say that it's an honor and a privilege for this book and to get this recognition, is because friendship is recognition, okay? And the ones that did this book are friends. And I want to thank right now, I want to thank not only the group, Latinos Working for the Future, my family naturally, but also Dr. Dan Yates, Dr. Steve Demos, Dr. Mary McDonald, the Community Foundation, and the Cucci Foundation from Grand Valley State University. And the reason I say these names is because these are all friends that not only want every one of you to go on to school, to go on to college, and I'm hoping that this young lady that's taking Spanish understood my first few sentences. And I'm grateful that some of them are going to go on to be doctors and nurses. Maybe you'll have the cure for cancer, which is what I have. But in all this, this story is the story of Muskegon and how we grew up. Hackley, we used to sing to Hackley. We used to have assemblies, and we used to sing a song. Nobody remembers the song. Does anybody in this audience remember the song we used to sing at Muskegon Senior High School? Do you really? Could you sing it for me? All I remember is a few lyrics and the music to it. Again, am I here to criticize? No. But the Hackley Library doesn't have it. And I know they have the creed, but I want you to know that when I was going to Muskegon Senior High School, there was only 2 high schools, the Heights and Muskegon. So there was no difference. There was no difference in anybody. We worked together. We enjoyed ourselves. The kids were bused in from Fruitport, North Muskegon. And I'm going to leave you because they said I can only have a few minutes. But I could stay here all night and talk to you about Muskegon, Michigan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Navarro.
That's all right.
We would like to make this presentation to you and in your honor for your service to the community and award us the commendee, one of the commendees for this year.
Thank you very much. I
Thank you.
accept it. Thank you.
Now, I have the opportunity to do an introduction, and I'm so pleased to be doing this one, the introduction of our next commendee. There's some information, quite a bit of it, in your program about Dan Yates, and I may touch on some of that. But what I really want to do is to tell you about the other side of Dan Yates. Now, he's probably wondering what I'm going to say, but we'll see what happens. I first met Dan when I became a teacher at community college,
By the time we met, he had his PhD, but I didn't know that because Dan was not much about touting his own achievements. He just kept on doing things and making a difference. He had already been at the college for 25 of his 42 years that he taught there, and I remember thinking, this is a nice guy. He was and is soft-spoken, highly respected as a teacher and liked as a friend. Dan is retired now, but he's busier than ever, as many of us are. He is, of course, continuing to pursue his passion for his history. When he retired, he had already authored and co-authored several books on local history. Recently, most recently, co-authoring with Ms. Navarro in a book entitled A New Home in Michigan, the Mexican Experience in Muskegon, and is currently doing work for a medical history of Muskegon County that he expects to publish in 2013. Now, there's another item of interest that I found fascinating. Dan is also the proprietor of a bookstore in Montague, Looking Aft Used Books. That's an intriguing name, isn't it? An interesting name. Now, I've spoken to a lot of people as I've put together what I wanted to say tonight. So, to a person, all of them said, Dan is so deserving of any and every award you might want to give him. We're all in complete agreement with that. He has taught us how history is so important, giving us lessons from the past that are sometimes about our future. Our community, the college, his students there, all of us are richer for Dan having chosen to come to Muskegon. Dan, would you come forward, please, to receive your award? And on behalf of the community and the Friends of Hackley Library, we want to present you with this 2013 Common D Award.
Thank you so much, Pete.
Thank you.